I talked about these two DNA. There's mitochondrial DNA and then there's this nuclear DNA. When we're talking about this nuclear DNA, we're talking about two X's, one coming from your father, one coming from your mother. Let us be clear. There is no such thing as a male sperm. I'm going to say it. Let me scoot you. There is no such thing as a male sperm. They're all female. This is why we know everything starts off female. If it was a male, then you don't have to wait 2, 3, 4 months before you know if it's a male or not, because as soon as that sperm hit, if it's male, then everything else multiplying in there is going to be male. But it can't be male. You know why? Because the mitochondria sitting over here, and she going to kill it if it's not matching with this X chromosome. These X and Y chromosomes are very different. They're not even the same species. He better have X chromosomes or he's going to be fertile. So getting into that. Jason said, I'm so happy it's happening. All right, so let me get into this. Let's understand this. We got these two X's, and then one of them is going to turn to a Y. Now, let's be clear. The one that ends up turning to a Y is the X chromosome. It's called a sex chromosome. The X sex chromosome that ends up turning into a Y is the one coming from the father. And I want to go deep into, because there's a spiritual side going on here, there's a physical side, and there's a lot of other sides. When y'all come to the seminar, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's really going on in here, because I can have visual aids and show you some things. But I need you to understand that these two X's now. When the mitochondria, the mitochondria is always in action. She's doing everything. When the mitochondria sees the spirit, so it's complex, but when the mitochondria sees the spirit that's coming into the vessel, this spirit fought against the mother in the past. This spirit fought against the mother in the past. And you got to understand, when with that X chromosome, or tear it up, the X chromosome is a contract. Everything is about contract, even as far as your molecular side. Everything deals with contracts. When the mitochondria sees the spirit that's coming into the vessel, she's going to determine whether or not she's going to take away his powers or not. So you got two X chromosomes here, right? This X chromosome has 1,400 genes in it, 1,400 genes. This Y chromosome, if it turns into a Y, it's got 100 genes. She's going to rip out everything except 100 genes. This thing going to become small like this. So it's a much smaller chromosome than the X. So she's taking away his abilities. What abilities, Diva? You just said she ripped some chromosomes. This other X chromosome, this is your ability to levitate, to speak without moving your mouth, to move things with your mind, to teleport, astroport. Why do they call it X-Men when X always deals with the feminine?
Woo, this is interesting.
This is your power right here. So let me tell you what happens. If she determines that this male is not supposed to be or have these powers, the ability to procreate, she's going to take his contract away. She's going to rip it up, leaving him with only 100 chromosomes. But you got to understand, as a woman, though, there's a check, and I'm not going into it here, but there's a check that the mitochondria does. And as a female, you still have your X chromosome, but she's going to take it away from you. She's going to make it, she balls it up. So it's like it's balled up in a little part of your cell. Now, you got the ability to tap into it when you come into knowledge of self. But those powers have been taken away from you for several reasons. I won't go into them now. But this is the power right here. This is why, see, remember now, okay, you're sitting over here with two X chromosomes. One of them is balled up. He got full access to his Y, these little 100. Now, imagine when you start tapping into yours. This is why they be telling, oh, she's too much man for him. Why she don't let him be a man? You ever hear somebody talking about why he don't let her be a woman? No, she is all that. She is the X and the Y, the yin and the yang. When she's balanced, she is all of that. Again, not dissing my brother. I'm just telling you what the facts are. But she's sitting over here with this balled up chromosome, and she doesn't know how to tap into it. But some women tap into it, and they become very, they know both their masculine and their feminine side. That's me. You tapped in to this. this is where your powers are. You still have the ability. He doesn't.
Mm.
So I'm saying this as it starts to come open, women, y'all gonna have so much power. Your wealth is coming back, your health is coming back, your powers are coming back. But the thing that I always preface, please know who you are, because this is the problem. Women, when they're angry, they'll destroy everything. What am I talking about? You remember the X-Men? Speaking of the X-Men, I don't know if you all saw it, but the most powerful being in the X-Men was a woman. And what was her problem? She didn't know how to control her everything around. That's how powerful you are.
Ooh.
You've been doing it, destroying everything, because your baby daddy make you mad, honey. Please, what? You can go in. And every energy that you put out towards him by law must come back to you.
Mm.
This is why it's important not to be a victim. This is why, because you're gonna try to destroy him, you destroy yourself. You see what I'm saying? So this is when we're talking about love, coming back into knowledge of self, coming out of the victim state. If you're in a victim state and you got all these powers, you're gonna destroy yourself.
Ooh.